Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing some armor shooting. I know you've seen a lot of armor videos lately, but we're going to try to do something a little bit different. We have a PKM out here, and this is level 4 armor. We'll talk more about the specifications of this armor here in a moment, but we have a rubber dummy down at 25 yards with some of this multi-curve level 4 armor that is gorilla taped to his chest for the purposes of today's testing. But before we get started with today's video, guys, if you enjoy the content that we produce here at the Military Arms channel, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe, and also hit that notification bell. If for nobody else, do it for the rubber dummy downrange. It's about to take a few rounds of 7.62x54R. All right, with that being said, let's get started with today's video and see how this RMA armor stacks up against the PKM and some 174 grain ball ammunition. So here's our rubber dummy all set up. We have some Gorilla Tape holding the armor onto his chest. I'm going to be aiming right about here. And the reason for that is Mr. Rubber Dummy's had a hard life, and we have a hole back here. And the first round that we fire, the armor should stop. Now this armor is NIJ certified, and it is capable of taking a 30 caliber round, about 166 grains, doing about 2,800 feet per second. Now we're going to be shooting a 174 grain ball round. We're only 25 yards from Rubber Dummy here, and we're going to see if he can stop that first round. And if it does stop that first round, we want to be able to look on the back side and see what that deformation is. It should be less than 44 millimeters, or about 1.7 inches. Anything more than that is considered to be extremely dangerous, even perhaps lethal. And back face deformation means when the bullet hits the front, it's going to bulge in the back when it takes that round. If that bulge sticks out more than just shy of 2 inches, that can send a rib right into your lungs, whatever. It becomes lethal potentially. So we're going to take that first shot, see if it stops it, take a look at the back face deformation, and then we're just going to keep shooting some ball rounds at it and see how many rounds it'll take in roughly the same area before we defeat the armor. All right, let's get started. If you guys haven't checked out Primary Arms online, please swing by and check out their website. They have all sorts of inventory that ranges from firearms to accessories, really good prices, fast shipping, outstanding customer support. If you use the code MAC and you purchase a PA branded optic or red dot sight with a magnified optic, you'll get a free scope mount with that MAC code. Or if you pick up a red dot sight or a prism sight, you'll get a free kill flash anti-reflective device. So please check out primaryarms.com. All right, guys, so level 4 ceramic armor and the RMA armor is a mixture between ceramic and polyethylene. And so level 4 armor, plate armor, is the most typical armor you'll see our military service members wearing across the various branches. The PKM is the weapon of choice for belt feds, generally speaking, of our enemies, especially those enemies we've been at war with for the last 20 years. So it's going to be interesting to see how this does with the 174 grain heavier than standard ball ammunition at 25 yards on this RMA armor. Now we're just going to fire one round because the NIJ certification says it should stop that one round. And then we're going to see what it did, and then we're going to come back, we're going to fire a few more rounds and see if how many rounds it takes to ultimately defeat the armor and poke a hole through it. So here goes that first round. We'll put the weapon on fire. Take careful aim and get my elbow out of the way of the ejection port. Over the years, we've tested all sorts of different armor. If you go back years in our video library, you'll see that we've tested, ceramic armor, polyethylene armor that's buoyant and floats. And so this is a combination, again, as I'd mentioned, of polyethylene and ceramic. And ceramic is really known for being able to stop around and disperse that energy without any back face deformation. And that's exactly what happened. So I aimed center mass here on this shield, the RMA shield, and you can see how the round went in. This is the ceramic. It's very sharp. You can squeeze the armor. It's a little bit soft. So it has this soft material here, probably to reduce the spalling, because this ceramic stuff is very sharp on the edges. But you can see it's about almost a knuckle deep into the armor. But if you come around the back and look right here, this is where the round hit, right by my index finger. There's zero deformation. So this round at 25 yards, this armor at 25 yards would have saved your life Now, the armor's only rated for that 1 round. Now, if you go down to level 3, they'll talk about 6 rounds, things like that. But this armor is only supposed to be able to stop that round. Now, let's see if it'll take a second round, pretty much hitting it right where I hit it the first time, and see if it stops it. If it doesn't, that wouldn't be uncommon. I mean, it's not really rated for that. So if you take this first round and you're still standing there waiting for the second one, you probably should head on back to boot camp. All right, let's go back down or that way on the range and send another round this way on the range and see if we can punch a hole through the armor with the PKM. Here we go with the second round of 174 grain ball out of the 54R. Keep in mind, guys, as I've already said, this armor has already served its purpose and met its NIJ certification, and it is NIJ certified. So now we're going to send a second round, try to stack it on that first one, see if we can poke a hole through this armor. Flipper to fire here really quick. Rubber dummy didn't move hardly at all. I wonder if that means it zipped through. I can't see a hole from here. Let's go down range. This is their multi-curve plate, so that means it's curved to better fit your torso. I'm 6'4", and this plate covers my vitals. It's 10 inches across, 12 inches down, 1 inch thick. So at $159, this is a very affordable ceramic plate armor. Typically, with other name brands out there, you'll pay as much as $300 for a single plate. With this, at $159, which there is a link down below, you can get 2 plates in essence for basically the price of 1. One thing we found with that Markomar PKM semi-automatic is it is surprisingly accurate. And so anyway, I was literally able to stack the second round right on the first round. And predictably, it did make it out the back side. All right, so that's to be expected. If you take 2 rounds literally on top of each other of 54R or black tip AP, which this is rated 30-06 black tip AP, it's rated to stop 1 round of. If you take 2 rounds to the exact same spot, it's going to go through. So don't stand there and let yourself be shot at. So the question then becomes, well, what if you take a round somewhere else here in the body armor, right? What if, does this compromise the rest of the armor? What if it takes a round down here? Will it still stop that single round? So if it gets hit here and here in a burst of machine gun fire, is it still going to save your life? Let's find out. All right, guys, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fire on the 2 bottom edges of the armor plate. They should be far enough away from the center of the plate to hopefully not have the armor completely compromised. And let's see if we can stop 2 more rounds, one on either side of the lower edges of the plate at 25 yards. All right, guys, so I literally hit it on both edges exactly where I wanted to, directly across from each other. On this side, we completely compromised the ceramic. You can see the ceramic plate there. This is the soft rubber outer, and then back here looks like fiber, like Kevlar perhaps. So you can see all the 3 different layers that comprise the armor. But if you come over here, there is 0 back face deformation, even though it completely compromised the ceramic. It stopped that round on a very edge hit. 0 back face deformation. It stopped it. That's really cool. I don't know that I expected that. So we did it a second time over here, blew the tape open. You can see this hit looks like the original hit. It stayed together. It didn't compromise the outer material holding the ceramic together. And yet again, if you look over here on this side, we see a slight little bulge. We'll take a closer look when we take the armor off the dummy. But there's the slightest bulge right there, which could indicate that the 2 hits up here compromised the ceramic down here some way, but it still defeated the round, so it would not have killed you. And that is nowhere near even an inch of deformation, so that's nowhere near lethal. So we still have 1 piece of armor we can take a shot at, and it's right here. We'll see how accurate that PKM is. So now we're close to an edge, and we know that this ceramic around here has to be fractured, has to be compromised at some degree. So let's put it around here and see if it stops it. All right, guys, so we're going to fire one more round in the very top part of that armor plate, kind of close to the edge if I place this shot well. And yeah, let's see if it will defeat the armor. Oh! I'm sorry about the sunlight, guys. The sun keeps coming in and out of cloud cover. But we dropped the plate. That's because I severed the tape with the bullet. So that's what's left of the tape that was stuck on there. The bullet literally cut the tape. That's why the plate fell. The round hit right here where my finger is. It blew out the top. However, it did not penetrate. So a slight bulge, not much. There's that slight bulge there on that edge. Again, not much. Nowhere near 1.7 inches to be fatal. This has no bulge and a slight bulge there. So we had pretty much flawless performance from this ceramic plate. We also, due to our testing, are now able to see the 3 different layers that comprise the interior that's then wrapped in fabric. So that's pretty darn impressive. That really is. I didn't expect it to take that many rounds because it literally isn't rated for that. I will say that I was rather surprised at the outcome of today's testing. I did expect the second round in the exact same spot to defeat the armor. That's basically what it's rated to, is to take a single round of basically 30-06 AP ammunition. We shot heavier than what it's rated for at 174 grain ball out of the PKM. And every time we shot a single round into a single point of the target of the plate, it defeated that ball round. So we saw minimal back face deformation, not enough that would come anywhere near the 44 millimeters that would be considered lethal. And at $159, that's actually a pretty darn good deal for this ceramic plate, or it's more of a composite plate. So yeah, I was really surprised. I thought that we would compromise the ceramic perhaps, and then we'd start to see failures, especially towards the edges. But even when we blew the complete edge off, it still stopped that ball round and kept it from hitting the rubber dummy. Outstanding performance. All right, so I hope you enjoyed today's video and you found it informative. If you'd like to again to pick up some of this armor plate, there's a link down below in the video description. If you'd like to support us here at the Military Arms Channel in the age of demonetization, we do have Patreon. There's a link down below. If you join us over on Patreon, you'll get early access to videos like this. You'll have direct access to me. I answer all private communications. And there's some other perks that you will have if you become one of our Patreon supporters. Also, right here on YouTube, you have that little join button underneath the video player you're watching right now. Mash that join button and consider supporting us right here on YouTube. And last but not least, guys, please swing by and check out coppercustom.com. Thank you for 13 years of support. We'll talk to you guys soon.